Hey, this is episode 98 of Shatter the Vein. I'm Brad Chmielewski, and we're getting close to episode 100. I can't believe we made it this far. I've been doing the podcast since, November of 2014, so pretty long time, and lots of news, and I can't believe how many heroes have come out and how much the game has changed over the last few months, so it's pretty awesome to see all that's happening. Episode 98, we're going to be talking about Lance, the new Rome hero that's going to be coming very soon to the fold. Probably an update 1.17, which is probably a couple weeks away here. VGL and VIPL and VIS are happening. We don't dive too much into those just because they happen so quickly. VGL has wrapped up since this episode has went live, so we're on to the live championships that should be announced, the dates and locations here very soon, so keep an eye out for that. And then those Phinn skins finally went on sale. You can finally pick them up, play them in game because they look awesome. I have a video on the Shatter the Vein YouTube page of it that from one of the games earlier last week of me playing it. So check that out if you want to see that skin in action. And be sure to pick up these skins. They're pretty awesome. And I believe Phinn was half off this past weekend for anyone that didn't own him. So you could pick him up and get those skins. Whew. He's monster here in 1.17. I guess he's always a monster, but he's really strong here in 1.17. And then we're going to be talking about the champion versus champion EU battle versus NA battle that's coming up here very soon. But let's do it. Let's jump in this episode. A lot of fun stuff to talk about. Some news, other news, and let's do it.
Shatter the Vein, a podcast about vainglory.
This is the 98th episode of Shatter the Vein. My name is Brad Chmielewski, and this is a podcast all about vainglory. Every week, breaking down the news, gameplay, game tips, so hopefully all become better players together. And every week, bringing on new people from the community. Usually we have a lot of NA people on here, but this time we're going pretty far away. And I'd like to welcome AZ on. Welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me on. It's an honor.
Yeah, this is great. You've been here in streams a lot, and commenting on the YouTube channels. You're very active on Twitter too, so it's really good to finally have you here and see you in person, or see you face to face, kind of.
Yep, that's right.
If you want to introduce yourself for people that haven't seen your stuff or know who you are.
So I'm Azaus. I've been streaming on Twitch lately quite a bit. Twitch.tv Azaus. Also on Twitter quite a lot, talking about the game, and sometimes on the forums, but don't really usually post on there that much. But I look at some posts.
Yeah, I lurk on the forums too. I don't really post that much.
Yeah, that's right. So I started playing like way back, maybe like late 2014, when it was like really only aimed at Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
Before it really came out on North America. So I kind of got to know the game through one of my friends, Pete the Noob, if you know him. I think he's been on the podcast before.
A while ago, yeah.
Yeah, so he streamed Clash of Clans. So I got to know him like right back when, and then he started getting into Vainglory. So I saw this new MOBA like on the touch, and I got to know it like really well. Hadn't really had much MOBA experience before, but I got to develop my skills, and now really I'm like doing really well in the competitive scene, to be honest with Axiom.
So you were playing Clash of Clans before that?
Clans.
Okay.
Nice. Yep. So I got to meet Praise 808 through solo queue, actually.
Okay.
So then they kind of formed a guild called Ardent on July 24th of 2015.
Yeah.
So then as they formed that, like I kind of sprung into that type of scene and got to know the community a bit more. And from just being a player, I kind of became like a, had that little bit extra of like community, and like got to know more people and be like in the kind of scene. Yeah.
Were you in a guild or active like that beforehand?
I think Pete, we formed like a guild for a few months called the Super Noobs. So there's a guy.
I kind of remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a guy called Super Nick and Pete, and they did compete in VGL, but I don't think they did too well. But it was good. Yeah, it was good.
Nice. So now you're on the competitive side of Ardent, right? I had Nikki and them on talking about the management side and how the business side, less about the players. So if you want to chat about or share some knowledge into the competitive scene for Ardent, especially now that Alliance has
Yep.
left and moved on to their TSM thing.
That's right. So we have two main teams right now in North America, at least, and that's Ardent Axiom and Ardent Awakening. So Ardent Awakening has Yazuru, Praise 808, and Chrissy, while we have Aza's Persona, who's had lots of experience with the competitive scene before. He also plays League, and we also have Dragon Dagger as well as Green Ranger.
Okay.
So it's kind of a new team when it comes to like synergy wise, but we've had lots of experience through the game, and mechanically we're really good. But I think still need to keep building that synergy so we can, be more like complement each other when it comes to, shot calling and all that.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I missed, like, we're recording this Saturday night my time. I missed most of the games on Saturday.
Yep.
But how'd you guys do overall in this qualifier for VGL?
I think we did pretty well. This is the second qualifier, so we got to the second round. So that's the round of 16.
Yeah.
We ended up versing Excrucio, so they're a really tough team when it comes to synergy, and they have a lot of mechanically good skills. So it wasn't the best of matches, but I think we did really well. We competed really well. We got a few kills, a few good fights. So it shows some kind of hope there for the next season.
Is it difficult? Like, what's the ping like for you playing? Since you're not like that close to the NA servers, or playing with like people like Green Ranger and people that are like here, and you get 0 ping most of the time.
Yeah. Surprisingly, it's not that bad. I think I get around 150 to 200.
Okay.
So it's not too bad. So like sometimes the poor network connection might appear on the top left side, but it's fine.
But yeah,
it's
if you can compete at that level, if in NA, it's really not that big of an issue. So that's good.
Definitely.
Nice. And then you've also been doing some stuff with Fame Glory, right?
Yep, I have definitely. So I've been working for Fame Glory for a few months now. I started off doing the guides, and now I'm working on something new that's kind of hasn't been announced yet, but in the next update for Fame Glory, it's kind of got to do with Vainglory Fire. So I'm going to be working with that and doing some stuff on there. So it's pretty interesting.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I should talk to him again and get him on here to talk more about like what he's planning, because I know he's got all the stat stuff that he's been kicking out for the VGL and VIPL. It's pretty awesome to see him doing all that. Well, that's cool. That's really exciting to hear, like, your story, and especially like meeting people in solo queue and joining a competitive team like this. Like, that's really neat.
It all really panned out, to be honest. It's pretty
Because I think a lot of people wonder, like, how do you join these like really great guilds? And a lot of the time it's just they find you, right? It's like, oh, I played with you. You're really good. You should apply and join here.
That's right. Yep. It's good.
So should we jump into some Vainglory news? There's a good amount happened this week, but not as ton. Not super exciting, I guess. But
Vainglory news.
So first, I guess the most exciting part is Lance. We got the first look
Lance.
at the new Rome hero Lance that should be coming in 1.18. So the next update, probably about 3 weeks away or so. So did you Coffee with Z Kent? That's been happening for what,
Facebook?
2-3 weeks now. So this is where he's kind of been revealing a lot of stuff. Like, more stuff gets revealed there now than on the dev streams on Fridays.
That's right.
But so he had Kraken on the other week, and he had Chainsaw on. Did he have Chainsaw on this week? I believe so.
I think he did. I think I saw him on there.
So they were talking about Lance, and they went over some of his abilities and shared the splash art finally. Did you get a chance to watch this?
Yep, I did. It's very, very nice. To be honest, the splash art looks very good.
Yeah. So they said a lot of the traits they may change or may get shifted, but for the most part, they don't usually change. They just kind of tell us that. Like, maybe the names of abilities get changed, but that's all I've seen, especially when it's this close to being released.
Yeah.
We could kind of go through his abilities a little bit and kind of
Yep.
chat. And we don't know exactly how they work. We just kind of know what they're
Mm.
supposed to do. We haven't seen in-game footage yet.
Hmm. That's right.
So his heroic perk, Lance's basic attacks hit every target in their path. Additionally, Lance will continue to face his target after attacking, reducing damage taken from their direction. After using an ability, Lance's next attack will strike very quickly, dealing bonus damage.
Hmm.
So right here, it kind of is saying like his basic attacks. He's using this like his pole or his giant sword to kind of hit multiple
Yep.
people. So his basic attacks can hit
It's
multiple
interesting.
things.
Hmm.
And the idea that he's like kind of moving around almost probably like in a circle, like kiting them, where he's always facing them,
Hmm.
which is very kind of
Mm.
unique to somebody.
Yeah. I like how they're changing it up a bit. They're adding everything like new to the game. It's really interesting to get a new hero like this that has a new kind of perspective on
Yeah.
it. So yeah, we have like this new hero who does all this awesome stuff. Like even his ultimate's really interesting because they haven't revealed too much, but it's quite
Uh,
interesting. But yeah, it looks pretty good. I think he's going to be really good paired up with people like Arden. He might be some type of carry, even though they're saying he's a roam. I think he
right.
could do really well as a carry. It sounds like through these abilities, crystal wise.
For
Yeah.
sure, yeah. I think he scales or has some different the way he works with the offensive items help increase
Mm.
his support items a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So his
That's right.
A ability right now is called Impale. Lance strikes through
Mm-hmm.
his opponents, damaging them and rooting them in place. So this is our second root.
Yep.
If this attack hits at least one enemy, Lance will immediately recover from the ability. So recover means like reset.
Mm-hmm.
This is our
Yep.
first champion that's gonna have a reset ability. Like
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
what is it? Phinn's ultimate. If you miss the hook, you get a reduced cooldown, but it doesn't
Yep.
read. No one's been rewarded for like
Yep.
killing
Yeah.
someone. Like this is a league thing where someone gets a kill, they get resets, and
Mm-hmm.
then they can kill the next person.
That's right.
But so this is like the first reset and the second root. And I think we're finally starting to
Mm-hmm.
understand the root mechanic. It's a little different than the stuns and the slows,
Yep.
but it's fun to see them continue
Yeah.
to add this into the game.
Yeah. It's definitely good. Rather than having a stun, there's another like different type of way. But it's kind of the same as a stun, but it's still different. So like introducing that, it kind of gives a bit of a balance with the heroes, and I think that having this route and having this new recovery, it's going to make up for a nice ability as well.
Yeah. So the impale, it's saying it strikes through. So I feel like it's some sort of
Mm.
impale means like
Yep.
it's like bringing down like a hammer, his sword kind of thing. So in some fashion, I feel
Mm-hmm.
like that's what we might see
It
there.
definitely, yeah, it definitely sounds like he's going to be right in the mix, right in the battle, like a type of Rona hero. He's going
Right.
to always be in that combat as well.
Sure.
Yeah, so he's going to be quite a destructive hero in the middle of the fight.
Um,
Sounds like.
so his B ability, Lance sweeps opponents away with his weapon,
Hmm.
damaging them
So you see that.
and also stunning them if they collide with a wall. Afterwards, he holds his shield steadfast, greatly reducing incoming damage from a target location.
Mhm.
So this means somehow he's gonna sweep his sword out or sweep his shield out. It's probably gonna cast like some
Mhm.
sort of a almost like a wind kind of thing.
Wall kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
pushes them back. Stunning them if they hit a wall is pretty interesting because this kind of means also turrets are going to equal walls. Like it's any kind of items that you can collide with. So
Yep. It
that's
it does sound like it's going to be more of a defensive ability. So this is where like the roam perspective comes into play. I think.
yeah,
He's going to use it as a probably a protection, or he might use it to engage. So it's going to be interesting to see how that comes along.
and Vainglory has so many walls and tight corners where this
Yeah.
ability seems like it's going to be
Does.
really strong.
Yep. Definitely. Yep. There's close fights,
You're
catching
not
someone out.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
not gonna want to fight him in the jungle anymore. Like you're gonna want to fight in the like Kraken, Minion Mine, Gold Miner
Hmm.
area, or in lane. Like don't fight him in the bushes or anything like that.
That's right. Yep. Gotta watch out for that wall.
And then his ultimate is called Combat Roll. So Lance rolls in the direction, in a target direction. And then,
Yes. So that's pretty interesting. Not too much revealed there. I mean, they haven't said like does it do damage or
yeah.
but we'll see like how that comes along. I think it sounds like it's gonna be like a kind of Ozo type thing
Right,
where
yeah.
he rolls out into the heroes and tries to like maybe bring him back or maybe do damage, but we'll see where that goes. I think it's
Yeah,
gonna be that type of
yeah.
engage.
I wonder if he's going to be able to roll in like Ozo and then use his
Mm.
B to like knock everyone kind of, or knock some people back
Mm-hmm.
towards his team.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what I was thinking.
But being able to,
Yeah.
you can only roll to a target in the target direction. So it's somebody he's going to have to click on or pick. So he's not going to be able to like
Mm.
escape with this
Yeah.
roll. It's not going to be like a
Mm-hmm.
Vox jump away or anything like that.
Yeah. So probably type of engage ability, I think. Yeah.
So pretty unique kit, pretty interesting. I'm excited to see this
Mm.
style, this sword and board hero that he's been called coming to the game. Like
Yeah.
he looks tough. He looks like he's going to be kind of a bigger model, probably maybe
He
close to
does.
Ardent kind of size, just like this dude that's super tough out there.
Yep. That's right. Yeah.
But we probably will see some, like we said, 1.18. He'll probably be available. We'll probably get some looks here in the next week as we get closer. I believe DreamHack is happening this weekend, and so
Yep.
there might be more stuff getting teased or leaked about him very soon. So I keep an eye out
We'll
on
see.
everywhere you like
Yeah.
to find all your news.
Yep.
Also in the news is the Phinn skins are finally available. All 3 Phinn skins are now, you can get cards, you can purchase tier 1 with ice or build it with cards, and then the other 2 are available with cards. This is great. I think tier 1 should have been there from day 1 of patch 1.17, but
Yeah.
that's...
That's right.
Have you picked any of these up yet? It's only been a couple days since they've been available now, but did you grab them at all yet?
Not just yet. Kind of waiting to get that Cloud Raider Box tier 3. I've
Okay,
got
yeah.
the cards ready for that one, but we'll see if I can gather up the ice and glory for these skins. They do look pretty beastly, so they're
Yeah.
definitely on my mind. Yeah.
Yeah, I had the tier 2 one, and I put up a video with that and was playing it. It's pretty fun to see, and it just looks awesome in game.
Yeah. Damn. Does
How
look.
what'd you think of these skins getting released like this, where, like you said, you wanted
Mm.
Cloud Raider Vox tier 3, and it
Yeah.
didn't come? Were you kind of disappointed that you couldn't grab it?
I don't think it's too bad. It kind of adds a little bit more, I guess, anticipation for the skins. And once you finally get it, you'll be like, yes, finally. But,
Okay.
there's different perspectives on it. I think in some ways it's not so good. In some ways it can be pretty interesting and kind of good. But, I'd prefer to have it right away when the update comes out, probably.
Yeah, I think if they do this again, I think they just need to communicate better that these are available in one point
Yeah.
in the update, but they will not be available right away. They will be coming at some
Yep.
point, because this was kind of a new thing where, like, yeah, it's in 1.17,
Yeah.
but later, guys.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, I think bringing out the skins also in like separate sections, so it's not all tier 3s are released or not all like tiers are released of the skin. Like bringing those out like separately maybe might have given a bit more of a excitement or being a bit more exciting kind of if they brought it out like say like tier 1 was coming out 117 and like maybe a few updates later they brought out the other tiers.
Right. Yeah. Back when
Yeah,
they
that's
first did the skins, like tier 2 pedal was in game for a long time. We had that splash art there for months before we finally had our skin, and that kind of it one built the hype, like you said, but also like you
yeah,
knew it was coming, and so you were always like waiting, like, is it this? Is it here? Is it here? Come on, show it to me. It's
that's
like,
right.
I guess I think they will find the right way to do it. I think they need to keep trying different things, like they did with the Rona cards and the Taka cards. They just kind of seeing what works. What do people like? And the skins aren't
Yeah,
even a year old yet, so
yeah.
it's still such a new process. So. But
That's right.
you can now pick up these skins and then get ready for Vox Tier 3. It should be next week then.
Yep. Should be next week. I'll be waiting.
Yeah. And then also, we got word on a final official EU versus NA
Yes.
championship
Preview.
happening. So this is called Champion versus Champion. It will be Team Secret facing Team Solo Mid in a special Battle of the Atlantic. And this will happen live from the Super Evil layer on May 21st. So just a couple weeks away. So it sounds like they're going to fly everyone out there. They'll be able to play
Wow.
on their location, set up. I don't even know how big their little studio is that they record from. It doesn't
Yeah.
look that big on the camera. I
It'll
don't
be
know.
interesting. Yeah.
I haven't been to the layer, so I don't know like the size or what it looks like in there.
Yeah.
But it's funny too that this will be awesome to watch. I can't wait to see this, and
Yeah.
I think the games will be really unique and fun to watch. Like Team Solo Mid has been, off their footing a little bit lately, and so it'll be interesting to see how they go up against Team Secret. That seems to be the EU team that NA people have become so familiar with, like Mowgli
Yeah.
and just everyone. Like we know those names now; they're household names here.
That's right. Yep.
But then this is like,
Yeah.
if this happens May 21st, the live finals, the live championships have to be happening within like a couple weeks of that too.
Yep. Yeah. So it's all happening, But I really like how they're relating this to the regions. It's going to be interesting to see like the Twitch chat if they broadcast it. Like everyone's going to be doing like NA over EU or EU over NA. So it's going to be pretty funny to watch. And I think we're having like a type of reward system where whichever team wins, certain regions get a kind of in-game prize or something. Yeah, we'll have to see about that.
So
Yeah.
whoever wins, like if EU wins, then everyone in EU or everyone with an EU account,
Yep.
yeah, what was it? They'll get a special prize.
In-game prize. Yep.
Yeah, in-game prize. And same thing for
Yeah.
NA. And then if you're like SEA or South America, like NA will represent South America, and Southeast Asia will be represented by EU. So they're making sure everyone counts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyone who has both accounts, like I have an NA and an EU account, so
Can't lose there.
I win. So
Yeah.
I guess I'm probably rooting for Team Solo Mid here, just being NA fan. I think they can take this.
Yep. Definitely.
Like I can't wait to watch this May 21st. So that'll happen, especially since VGL. We're recording this. The finals are here this weekend, so they happen. So we get no spoilers on this episode, but they happen this weekend. So we're off like tournament scene mostly for a weekend, but Vainglory Master Series is going on and VIS is going on. So we're really not missing any tournaments, but I guess Super Evil related. Then we'll have to wait a couple weeks for the champion versus champion. Have you been watching? Well, you got to play in the VGL, but did you get to watch any of the games as well?
Yeah, I got to watch a few. Definitely watched NA. Kind of missed out on a bit of EU, but still got to manage to see a few games.
Okay.
I started watching today or yesterday when Clashia actually beat Team Secret in that first game. That was pretty interesting.
Okay.
So it looks like Clashia are really gonna turn it on in the qualifiers.
Wow.
And the live championships. So it's gonna be an interesting team to watch, I think.
Yeah, I think the finals, they're either they're the best games or they're so one-sided. It's pretty funny to see. Like, it's like, how did this other team make it there? Because they just got it's best of 5, so it's 3-0'd or something like that happens. So hopefully, because I love seeing the games go to 5 games. It's basically Vainglory from 10 a.m. my time to like midnight almost. It's like, oh my god, that was a lot of games. If they all go 5 games. So. I don't want to pick any winners because this comes out afterwards, so we'll just be wrong and people will be like,
Yeah, that's right.
But it's been great to always watch Team Nemesis, Hydra, like they always play fantastic, and Gangstars, Cerberus, and EU, like they've winning the first qualifier, like they've just look so good out there on the Fold. So it's been some
Hmm.
great games and great
Yeah,
teams.
yeah. The competition's really heating up. I think like it's gotten much better since like it used to be. So it's improved a lot, and yeah, lots of the games are really close nowadays.
Are you guys already looking to the summer qualifier now? Like
We
already
are, yep,
planning for that?
yep. The future. Yeah, we're practicing. Hopefully we can get there, but we'll see like how we go and how we develop as a team.
Okay.
And yeah, it'll be interesting for our team.
Yeah, and there's always lots of change ups and switch ups in players between the qualifiers and the seasons as well. Like
That's right.
there's usually like the season ends and there's like a couple weeks before VGL starts back up. So it's like all these moves have to happen so quickly.
Yep, yep, definitely.
So if you missed any of VGL, just go back and watch the finals. I think those are the best games just to like if you want to see some of the esports action going on, like check those out. It's
Hmm.
probably the
Yep,
best ones to watch.
that's right.
And then the last thing in the news before we wrap up the news section is the free hero rotation. I always like to mention
Hmm.
that because everyone doesn't have all the players. And when I jump over to EU, I don't have all the characters on that account. So I take
Yeah,
advantage of the free
same for
hero
me.
rotation sometimes. This week, not a bad lineup. We got Rona, Jewel, Scarf, Catherine, and Phinn. And we're just talking about those Phinn skins. And he's pretty good
Mm,
in this update.
yeah,
Still.
he is. They did give him a reduction on his pricing as well. I believe that sale.
Yeah.
So I definitely lots of players are going to be grabbing him regardless of the free hero rotation.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be good.
And then Rona, we're starting to see Rona creeping up with the Killer Bunny skin. Like people want to play Rona, but she just doesn't
Yeah.
work out.
Yeah. That odd casual game you might want to play her. She's lots of fun, but her damage output's probably not the best. But
Do you have a favorite character in this free hero rotation that you would recommend people like learn and play? It seems like you like Vox a lot, but
yeah,
anyone here?
yeah. But I really like Scarf. I think Scarf's a really good pick in this meta. So you
Okay.
guys might want to practice him. He can be really strong right now. I think they just shifted his damage. They didn't really nerf him too much. They just shifted his damage over to his real like goop. So you're gonna
Right.
have to combo his A and goop to have lots of damage outputs. That's pretty good hero to pick up. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been banning Scarf out a lot just because
Yeah. Yeah.
he's just very popular right now, and he's can kite and do so much poke damage from so far away.
That's
It's
right.
like that little dragon man.
Yeah, he's a little pest, isn't he?
So yeah, check out this free hero rotation if you're looking to try someone new or just try some weird stuff on a different account too, like a weapon Kashka. I've seen that popping up a few times. People are trying
Yeah.
it.
You never know.
So that does it all for the news. Well, sort of. So I have a little interview slash breaking news with ClosetNerd of Team Phoenix. He wanted to jump on here and talk about some changes that are happening within Team Phoenix and the teams. So we're going to switch over to that. Pre-recorded that earlier in the week. And then we'll be back, talk about Team Phoenix and VIPL for a minute, and then we'll do some form static.
Now for an interview.
Hey, so I have basically a breaking news interview here with ClosetNerd from Team Phoenix, talking about the recent team acquire for their guild and organization here. So welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Brad.
So before we even get into this breaking news, would you like to give a little introduction of yourself and Team Phoenix for people that maybe they've probably heard the name, but they don't know you, or maybe have dug deep into the organization?
Yeah, so my name is ClosetNerd. I am the founder and owner of Team Phoenix. And yeah, we are excited to announce Phoenix Reign, REIGN, which will consist of the former members of Excrucio, which
Okay.
is, yeah.
Nemesis Excrucio, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is pretty big news. Like this Nemesis team, had just been formed, right? Like Old School had left Gankstars and went to Nemesis, and now he's coming over to Team Phoenix. Like, how did this all come to be?
Yeah, so it actually started off with Team Phoenix Reborn. Two of our members, God of Sins and Skogent,
Okay.
are leaving for the military after this season. So we knew that we had to make, a big splash in the free agent market. And we actually weren't considering Excrucio at all.
Okay.
We were just looking around to see who was available. And I got into a conversation with Hardik one night, and I thought he was joking when he said I should be talking to Excrucio. But so I PM'd him, and we kind of talked for a while. And it turns out that Excrucio and Hydra weren't kind of on the same page, and um, they were thinking about parting ways at the end of the season. So I jumped in and made sure um, that Excrucio became part of Phoenix.
Okay. I think it's got to be hard for any guild organization to have multiple teams, especially when they maybe at sometimes feel like there's one team that stands out and one team that's like, hey, you're our second team. And so if the second team feels like they should be the A team, there's often some like butting heads there that can happen, right?
Yeah, I mean, historically, we've never had an A team or a B team. During the winter qualifier, we had three teams. We had Rising, Reborn, and Resolve. And Resolve would have been what people call our quote unquote C team, but they went the furthest. They went to the round of 16, and this season, Reborn is the one going to the live finals. They made the semifinals.
Okay.
So I mean, we don't really have a team or B team. We try to create like two or three really really strong teams.
Okay. Nice. That's really good. But this, yeah, so this makes sense that like people leave and come into this game pretty quickly at times because the seasons are so short. So you realize like, hey, I could do the spring season, but I can't do the summer season for like you said, military or maybe school during the spring. And so people come and go this game because it is a time commitment because the seasons do move so quickly.
Yeah.
So how does this affect? So everyone from Excrucio is coming over. It's basically like
Yeah,
I
so the
guess
roster's going to be Old School in Lane, I Love Joseph in Jungle, Ezidox in Rome, and Shot Caller. And Stussy's going to be the substitute player and he's also going to be joining the Phoenix organization as a member of the staff,
Okay.
part of the management team. And um, yeah, so how it affects the remaining teams, because Reborn is the rosters consisting of Team Reborn is going to dissolve after the season due to the departures of Goddessens and Skogent. We're going to be creating like one really strong roster with their remaining players,
Okay.
and they're all going to be joining Reborn, and then Rising is going to be dissolving.
Okay. Makes sense. And then who like there's enough points, right? Isn't there? Team Phoenix team going to the live finals or the spring live championships or whatever they keep getting changed or
That's
called to.
right. So Excrucio will be competing as Phoenix Reign, and Phoenix Reborn is also going to be the live final. So we'll have two teams at the live finals.
Oh, that's awesome. Very exciting. Like, are you planning to be out there for these live finals to support the team and cheer them on this time?
It's not confirmed. It depends on the date, but I hope to make it out.
Right. There's no dates or even locations announced yet that anyone outside of Super Evil knows or should know
That's right.
at the moment.
That's right.
Well, that's really awesome for like Team Phoenix picking up these other players. Like Old School, especially, has been a name that has been in the scene almost, I think, since the beginning.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. So
He also became the first player in North America to hit Vainglorious Gold.
Oh, really? Okay, that just happened then. This
Yeah, that happened last week.
last week. Okay. Ooh, I
Yeah,
must have missed that on Twitter. Yikes.
yeah.
So how does this affect like you do have the team over in playing in the VIPL in Korea when they first off that's awesome, congratulations to that, like
Yeah, we have to give a shout out to our sponsors, Mob Crush and Band, who made that trip possible for us, and always continue to provide support for us. We actually just finished our first match,
okay,
and we're going to have, I think, at least a couple of more matches before the playoffs start.
right,
So we hope to provide enough content um, for everybody, hopefully video content where we could kind of show what the players are experiencing in a new environment, in a new country, a new continent.
right. I guess I haven't seen that game yet. I have to watch the VIPL VOD, so I have to remember to go to the OGN Global on Twitch and like watch it a couple
Yeah,
days later, just because of the time difference. It's so tough
yeah,
to like keep up on it.
right.
That's really cool. Is this the first time those guys have been to Korea or even left the country like that?
I'm not sure if it's the first time they left the country, but it's definitely all of their first times in Korea.
Uh-huh. That's gotta be so. That's gotta just be amazing to like go and play a video game at a professional level in another country. Like being invited to that. Like
Right.
as a player, like it's just gotta be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go here and play this game and get paid for it, kind
Yeah.
of for a while.
Yeah. And it's also incredible because they get to live with Gangstar Sirius.
Right. Yeah.
And those guys have, probably the most experienced pro team out there in terms of, going through rigorous practice schedules to winning different championships. So, they're really the consummate professionals, and hopefully living with them will, some of Gangstar's work ethic, skills, and their wealth of experience rubs off on our guys.
Right. Yeah. Very cool. Are you planning to go if the you guys make it into the semifinals or finals? Are you gonna
It's
try to make it out
possible.
there? Okay.
I won't count it out.
I know it's such a long time to be there. I know. I believe Pawn and Nivmed and other people just kind of go out when the finals happen and just kind of
Right,
root on their players and their teams and like,
right.
especially because the games happen so far between it. You can't just hang out in Korea for multiple months.
Right.
So when that finishes, they'll finish around the same time that the spring live championships are finishing. Like, does that affect the new team at all, or like how does?
Yeah, I
Because
mean, we're just gonna realign our rosters. I'm really not sure what's gonna happen.
this will be the
But
summer
yeah,
season, right?
yeah, we really want to see what everybody's availability is like too, because some players are going to be, leaving the country and traveling for the summer. So a lot of different things are in play. So we're gonna kind of take a step back. We have Phoenix Rain representing one VGL team or one competitive team for the summer season, and then we're going to see how to form the best possible team for Phoenix Reborn.
It's gotta be tough. Like as we can only most guilds or organizations can only have two teams in the VGL at a time. So it's gotta be tough to as a player on any of these guilds to be like, I didn't make that, and if you want to be a competitive player, you have to like prove yourself and like find that like core group of people that you like to play with and that support you. Like finding those players is super tough. I think.
Yeah, no, I really like having two teams because it creates more competition. You could look at autumn VGL season when Kinetic had four teams competing under their banner.
Right.
Now you have all these. I mean, sorry,
Hammers, yeah.
Hammers had four teams. I think it was four teams. They might have had more. But you look at it now, and you have a lot more teams sprouting up. You have teams like the roster of Noble Esports, which is kind of like a fusion of former Hammers and former Nemesis players. So, I think it creates more opportunities for other organizations and other teams to step in and compete at a high level.
For sure, yeah, and then yeah, having two teams within your organization. I know Flash X mentioned at one point like having that extra team to scrim against and just practice with. Even Hammers mentioned when I was talking to Rage, like having those players like yeah, you can just play with them and you don't have to worry about like organizing a scrim or things like that where you can kind of trade secrets, I guess, and feel like you're not
Right,
like giving up something because they're kind of like your brothers and sisters in a sense.
right, right. It's definitely a huge advantage.
Yeah. Well, this is a pretty awesome announcement, and it seems like it's been in talks for a little while, like you were saying. So I look forward to seeing these guys playing under the Team Phoenix banner.
Yeah, well, it was in talks, but it wasn't made official until today. So, yeah.
Very cool. So, anything else besides this we should look forward to for Team Phoenix or coming up? Like the VIS is happening, and so that's pretty.
Yeah, so I mean, we're excited to add, the members of Phoenix Rain to our VIS roster. And hopefully I mean, it's really close. It's really close. Right now we have 4 teams tied for second place
Whew.
at 2-2. It's Hammers at 3-1 in first place, 4 teams at 2-2.
Okay.
So the competition is fierce and it's anybody's league at this point.
Right.
So, we're competing for a pretty large prize pool. It's the prize pool is the same amount for first place as it is for VGL. It's $2,500.
Okay.
Yeah, so we want to take that down.
No, yeah, I was talking to, I'm gonna mess up his name, Boicious Nice, right?
Yeah,
On the recent episode, and like he did all the design stuff, and like just saying like it's really cool that you guys were able to put this tournament together because what like a year and a half ago, Kima and the Hammers tried to put together a tournament that kind of has their bumps and like the work that goes into it. Like I think people underestimate just how much has to happen
yeah.
behind the
No,
scenes.
I think my view on that is, without them, we wouldn't have been able to be successful because you coming in later, you get to see what everybody has tried in the past,
Yeah.
and you get to take what works and leave out what doesn't work, and you get to learn from other people's mistakes without having to go through them yourself. So I think we definitely benefited from kind of the trail that they blazed earlier on.
Nice. Okay. Exciting times. Well, Closet Nerd, thanks for giving me this quick little interview, breaking news kind of thing for
Yeah,
this. I'll include a link in the post here. I'm sure there'll be a blog post up with this that people can read. I'm sure, right?
sure. Yeah, there will be, and we really want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Band and Mob Crush.
Yeah.
You could find us on Band at band.us/at Team Phoenix VG, and you could find us on Mob Crush at mobcrush.com/Team Phoenix VG. You could also watch the Vainglory Invitational Series at mobcrush.com/VisLeagueVG, and
Okay.
yeah, and our website is phoenixvainglory.com.
Nice.
And that's the same address as our YouTube channel,
Okay.
youtube.com/C/Phoenix Vainglory.
And then what's the Twitter? I'm sure that's the best place to like see when everything is happening.
Yeah, it's
All
Team Phoenix VG.
right. Yeah, that's usually like lots of stuff getting posted there about the VIS and just all the news. Feel like Twitter is the place to just keep track of everything.
Yeah.
Well, this was fantastic. Thanks again for joining me. Always great chatting with you online and even chatting with you here. So thanks again.
All right. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Cheers. All right. Awesome stuff happening with Team Phoenix. And I know they just played their match here in the VIPL before we started recording this. I got to see
I
it
did.
before the OGN stream turned off. I don't know. It just
Yeah.
ended. And so
Yeah, something happened there.
we just had to assume that we knew the outcome. Did you catch that game before we started recording?
Yeah, I did, and I was quite surprised at the outcome. But you can't underrate the Korean teams. I think they're really strong. We haven't seen too much of them, but yeah, they have lots of skill down there, and I believe their synergy is actually really good over
Yeah.
there. So they like to play as three all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know a lot of Team Phoenix got a lot of flack for maybe not being the highest skilled team in NA going to VIPL, but this was their first game they've played on stream now. They
Yeah.
played against Hack, like you said, the Korean team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was a messy game from everyone. Like it just looked like not everyone was on the same page on Team Phoenix and on Hack. Like I don't know what it was
It's
about.
interesting. Yeah.
Maybe it was just nerves or something. And I think that'll say a lot for Team Phoenix because they haven't really
Yep.
been on a stage like that. They weren't at the live championships or anything yet, so they haven't seen like that crowd experience and getting up there. It's a totally different vibe. I'm sure I haven't done it, but I know like
Yeah.
the whole idea of people like sitting in the audience watching you is just got to be
Yeah,
weird.
it wouldn't be easy. Yeah, everyone's staring right into you. Yeah, but
They're staying with Gangstar Sirius there and practicing with them. I can only imagine Team Phoenix is just going to get better and better, like playing at this
Yeah.
level and playing with these skilled players. Like I'm looking forward to seeing their next match.
Yeah, I think when Flash went, he actually mentioned that was like probably one of the experiences where he learned the most about himself and about his team. So I think it would be a great learning curve for Team Phoenix to go there.
Yeah.
It's a good opportunity for them.
If it comes down to Team Phoenix versus Gangsters and Team Phoenix wins, I think that means Gangsters should stop staying with people and just stop telling them secrets.
Yeah.
But yeah, check these games out along with the VGL. They happen at weird times, like most of the time midnight for most people in NA. So you have to watch the VODs on. It's OGN Global on Twitch. So if you can scrub through the games, Monte Cristo, fantastic league caster. It's great seeing him. Great seeing him cast this game. Like they're not. You can tell they love the game, but they're not as familiar with the players yet, and so they kind of falter there a little bit. But it's very smart intelligence about MOBAs and just gameplay in general. So cool.
Yeah, that's right.
So the last thing before we get out of here is a little forum static.
Forum static.
So on the forums, I found an interesting topic, and this is probably really good for you as a competitive player, and you can share some thoughts and insight to other players and other listeners as well. So the topic was, what do people lack in the game? Like, what do you see? One, you're streaming and you watch a lot of people stream, so you see what dumb things people do, and just like stuff
Everyone makes mistakes.
Yeah, like sometimes you just like, I can chase this kill. I shouldn't have chased this kill. Like things like that. But a lot of people chiming in on this forum post. So I'll include a link in the show notes. But what do you feel like you see, or do you think people need to learn just when they're getting into the game to improve their gameplay a little bit?
I think reflex blocking is really important. Timing that. Maybe you want to get into some practice games and time that. It's really important to practice your reflexes, and train yourself to get those 1 second like reflexes out. It's really important to get away from the enemy, or if you want to initiate even.
Right.
Yeah.
CSing is pretty important. They mentioned in here like gold gets items, and items win games. Like that's important, but also not letting your team get pushed out of their own jungle, which hurts their CS. Like that's important in the rotations.
Yeah, you always need to pay attention to the CS and to the farm. If there's a wave going, you always have to be there. Can't let two waves miss out for just an early game jungle fight. I don't think that's a good trade.
Okay.
You just gotta be really cautious on your farm,
right,
and do as best as you can to rotate back up when you push out the enemy team in jungle.
Yeah, the knowledge of map awareness is such a hard. It's a hard thing to learn and get the hang of, but the map is mirrored. So if you're in the jungle and you're at your backs, you can almost bet the other team is at the jungle in their backs too. You're doing the same thing. You have the same knowledge of the game.
That's right.
If you think about it in that way, like, okay, we're going to go to the shop. They're probably in the shop too. Be careful. If they're not in the shop, that means they're in lane, like ready to
Yep.
gank. So there's like,
Mm-hmm.
there's only really two places they're probably gonna be. So.
Yeah, there's always that kind of pattern that circles around the map. So you always got to be, careful of that. You almost know usually it's a 50% if you know like where the enemy is, even without vision. You most likely know where they are, regardless.
I feel like on this post they mentioned like counter building and building perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Right now there isn't a lot of variance in builds. Like we don't have enough items
Yeah.
yet. So
Mm-hmm.
knowing the correct like defensive item to buy, if they're all going weapon, buying some armor, you're good. But I
Mm-hmm.
don't always feel like counter building will stop you from maybe in those lower tiers from moving up a little bit,
Mm.
because just
Yeah.
playing smart and winning
Mm.
fights is almost more important than
Yeah.
like, hey, they built this item, maybe I should build this to counter it. Sometimes you can just
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
win the fight straight up with damage.
Yeah, definitely in the lower tiers, it's usually who just, plays it best and whoever executes their skills better. Usually it's not the build that comes into play too much. You just got to have damage output, really,
Yeah.
in the lower tiers. Yeah.
I know something that I probably keeps me back a little bit, especially playing solo queue, because I play a lot of solo queue.
Yeah.
Is I feel like we just need to go in, and I'm like, let's go, we can chase this, and I'm like talking to myself, and it's like my team doesn't hear this, but I know like if we win the fight, like they're scared, they're on the, even though we just lost, we can go back in and kill them, and we win the fight, and then we're ahead more. Like knowing when to like push back, like don't be scared. I feel like because a lot of the things I kind of
Mm.
try to say in
Yep.
videos, like just fight, like. Because the
Mm.
more, if you win fights, you're gonna win the game. So if you
Mm.
just fight, like it's a fun game
Yep.
to
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah, you have to have confidence. Yeah. Can't play too passive, can't play too aggressive. Usually the best style is just passive aggressive. Be passive occasionally, like when you're down, but if you're ahead, just keep pushing that advantage.
Yeah.
That's right.
So check out this post. There's a lot of like salty people in here, or people who try to think
Yeah.
they know what they're saying, but you can pull out some
Yeah.
good nuggets in here
Mm.
every now and then.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always fun to look at the comments.
What do you guys do when you guys are playing with the team? Like, what's something? Do you guys go back and rewatch games or anything? Like, you record them, or how do you train to get better as a
Yeah.
competitive player?
Yeah, definitely self-improvement's really important. Identifying your mistakes is one of the most important things as a player to grow and get better. So you always have to have that critical analysis of your gameplay and your team. So if you identify the mistakes, get them better, it makes you better, and you don't have those mistakes in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So who's the shot
So,
caller on your team? Is there's a kind of a cooperative thing?
so usually it'd be like Dragon Dagger or Ace's Persona. They both have really lots of experience with MOBAs and lots of, lots of that great knowledge.
Yeah, and then that a lot of that knowledge comes from just playing a lot too. Like
Yeah.
you guys probably put in hours and hours of playing the game, right? At this
Yeah,
point.
lots of practice. It's really important. Practice.
Uh,
Practice makes perfect, as they say.
is it hard to practice with your time difference with them? Do you have any issues with
Um,
that?
yeah, occasionally there's a bit of time difference and there's a bit of an issue, but usually we can all get on at the same time and play a few games each day.
Nice. Okay.
So that's pretty good. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, awesome to hear. Like from the competitive side of Ardent and what's going on there. So I really appreciate you coming on this episode.
Yeah. No worries.
Where can people find you, your Twitch stream, Twitter, all that good stuff?
Twitter, YouTube even, Vainglory-Azaus. I'm uploading a few videos on there.
Nice.
Should be pretty fun. So that's always good.
And then Ardent Azaus on Twitter, right? Nice.
Yep. Twitter.com on Azaus.
Nice. And
No spaces.
okay, I'll make sure I include a link in the show notes and link it up in the post, so everyone should follow you up and see what you're up to. And you're always sharing news at different hours of the day, so it keeps, I can check it at night as I'm going to bed, like super late, and you're up playing and doing something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But so that does it for episode 98 of Shatter the Vein. All these episodes available on iTunes, Stitcher, the Google Play now, YouTube video version. So check those out. All those are up on the Shatter the Vein website at shatterthevein.com. on Twitter at Shatter the Vein, always sharing news, images, retweeting people that are streaming and fun stuff like that. So be sure to follow me up there. And then I have the Supporterly page, switching from Patreon over to Supporterly. Been working with those guys, really fun site and service. So I'll include a link in the post and more on that to come soon. So yeah, cheers and thanks for listening.
Shatter the Vein.
Let's get this over with.